Ну и, собственно, мы продолжаем. Ну что ж, давайте будем теперь разбираться, кто же является предателем у нас в лагере. Фу-фу-фу. Да, печалька, однако. Везде одна печалька. Так, а если поговорить с тобой?
Sybil, can I talk to you?
Yes?
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
What do you want to know?
What do you think of Mathras?
I think he's absolutely unique, fascinating. I have always loved history and history books, but he actually lived through history. It's just incredible. There is so much we can learn from him. His knowledge could allow us to better understand what happened in our past. We could learn from the errors of our ancestors.
Do you really think he's immortal?
Oh, I'm convinced of it. You only have to look at him. He's so cultured and has so much knowledge. Which reminds me...
Something to do with our decomposing friend?
Yes, he won't talk to me about his romantic experiences. I managed to get a lot of stories about battles and all sorts of historical anecdotes, but nothing about his love life. It's not that I want to pry into his intimate life, but I do wonder why he's so reticent to talk about it.
I could always ask him for you.
Серьезно? У нас такое задание? Но оно же дополнительное, да? Супер. И нам нужно это задание выполнить. Но нет, сначала давайте разберемся с предателями, а потом будем уже разговаривать о более других интимных вещах.
Just in time, Vulcan. I'm afraid I need your help again.
What happened to you now?
To me, nothing. It's about my people. Have you ever heard of the Stone of Souls?
No. Worth a lot?
No. I mean, yes. It's priceless, but it's not for sale.
I'm not sure I follow you.
I'll explain. Every elf possesses a Stone of Souls, which contains the memories and emotions from all the greatest moments of his life. These stones are passed from generation to generation. It's a way of preserving the memories of our people and of honoring our ancestors. With all of those who died at Carolthas, there are thousands of stones abandoned in the city. We cannot just leave them there. You are no doubt the one who will be traveling to our city the most. If you could bring back as many of them as possible, I'd be eternally grateful. Actually, all of my people will be in your debt. At least the ones who still live.
You really think I have time for this shit? I can't weigh myself down with elf stones with a Dead Walker army on my ass. Let's change the subject.
Так, стоп, я не понял, что за прикол? Я же хотел согласиться. Блин, во я протупил.
I have a few questions I need to ask you. Let's change the subject. I'll leave you here.
Да, печально. Так, что, а мы еще раз можем взять задание?
I've taken a tour of the camp, and it's like a sieve.
Huh. What do you propose?
Well, I'd be safer with a few dozen well-placed traps. Do you think you could build them for me?
I'll take care of that as soon as I get a second. I'll leave you here.
Так, ладно, давайте посмотрим, что у нас еще есть задание. Безопасность лагеря. Так, и сколько тебе ловушек надо?
You got a minute?
Yes?
I built your traps. Okay, here are your traps. Now you just need to put them in place.
Thank you. I must admit that I'm relieved it was you who built them. I'd been living in fear of messing up my hairstyle permanently had I tried to do it.
I'll leave you here.
Так, ну, вот и все, задание выполнили. Более-менее. Так.
And even more bullshit. Don't wear yourself out, honey. We're not gonna fight for these lazy elves.
You have to listen to me, please. I know you're angry with the elves for not entering the war earlier. But today, with their help, we finally have a chance to win.
With what's left of their army? You gotta be kidding, sweetheart. They got taken out once. The second time's a done deal.
Black Frost is no longer here to support his army. And the elves are no longer on their own. We, the scribes, and the mercenaries too, will be with them. And here's Vulcan. He'll be helping too. And as you can see, he is no ordinary mercenary. I beg you, please. If we join all of our forces together, we can win.
I gotta give it to you, Sugar. You sure know how to use that mouth of yours. But you don't know nothing about war. All I see here is the remains of an army that I got no reason to fight for.
What better way to prove my worth than a duel? That's how we settle differences of opinion in my company all the time. All right?
I got a guy who should make you happy. If you beat him, I might change my mind. With what you got under your belt, who knows?
Ах ты же, блин. Так подло нападать. Получай.
Well, you can really back up your words, mercenary. Who knows? Maybe with guys like you, we can actually win. We're with you, Vulcan. You can count on us for the assault.
Ну, как скажешь. Ну, хоть что-то выполнили. Уже неплохо. Так, опа-на. А, тут дополнительное задание. Ну, давайте тогда пойдем его выполним. Что ж поделать-то. Да, мне, конечно, обидно, что я не взял задание у того эльфа по поводу камней, который он просил собрать. Да, печалька получилась, однако. Ну ладно.
Mithras, do you have a moment?
My dear, I have all of eternity.
I want to ask you a couple of questions. Do you have any idea about what I am becoming?
In all my long lives, I've never seen your like. Even the term demon seems to be designed to cause confusion. I have seen real demons when I lived as a war drum player amongst the dwarves.
Dwarves are just legend. You're yanking my chain.
It would be churlish to mock someone when it is so easy. Thus the dwarves did exist, and I was once one of them. They used to use these little creatures, barely the size of toddlers, in their enormous forges. They were little red creatures with tiny horns and a wicked air about them. You see, they were able to survive in the flames. The dwarves called them demons. You look a little like one of them, only much bigger. And you have an even more pronounced affinity with fire. I'm reserving judgment about the wicked attitude. I believe this affinity with flames is no coincidence. You are clearly a response, a weapon, and your purpose is to face the Ice Lords. It is entirely possible that you are the fruit of an attempt to rebalance the forces of nature. Alas, I have no idea which entity is behind all of this.
Странно, мы не можем у него спросить того,
I
чего
want
от
to
нас
ask you a
хотели.
couple of questions.
Странно.
What happened to the Elven King?
I think he was simply lacking in strength of will and determination. They transformed him into an arch-lich, It's a particularly delicate and extremely dangerous magical process that could only be performed by an Ice Lord. It can only be performed on an elf, and then only one who is desperate to live.
How so?
Elves have many flaws, but most of them do have a very profound sense of duty. If an elf believes he is going to be tortured to make him reveal the secrets of his people, for example, he can literally will himself to die. It would seem that this king was desperate to continue living at any price, rather than dying with honor. That is what allowed them to turn him into an arch-lich.
In 6,000 years, have you ever seen a situation as desperate as this one?
Honestly? Well, no. You are, as you might put it, fucked. Or at least the mortals seem to be. But you carry something within you that may modify things somewhat. And it is this seemingly insignificant detail, this flap of a butterfly's wing, which may eventually change the apparently manifest destiny of the world as you know it. This demon, as you call it, has never before walked the earth. Neither he, neither it, nor any other of its kind. If they had, I would know of it, believe me. Consequently, and in spite of the evident futility of such a sentiment, there may be grounds for you to feel a slight glimmer of hope. That is, of course, if it is your desire to avert disaster.
Well, that's comforting. Why did you come to Carolthas?
Why not? There's one thing you should know about eternity. It can be rather dull. So I do my very best to be in the right place at the right time. The place where it's the most fun.
Fun? You think this is fun?
Well, distracting then, if you prefer. What do you expect? I'm just so bored. The End of the World is a show I wouldn't want to miss.
What do you know about the Deadwalkers?
Apart from the fact that they're an incongruous mass of corpses with appalling bad taste that are animated through the use of magic, nothing. I can tell you that the power necessary for their creation, and to keep them working, is far beyond the magical abilities of any of your contemporaries. And since it's obvious they are incapable of any decision-making or strategy, they are clearly being controlled from a distance. All of which suggests the Ice Lords who are controlling these things are rather powerful. Something, I grant you, quite difficult to believe when one saw them start out at the same pitiful level of incompetence as their brothers, the Red Scribes.
Talk to you later.
Так, ну вроде бы как-то так. Странно. Поговорить с ним не получилось, так как нас спросили. Интересно, он пойдет с нами? Точно. Давайте его с собой возьмем.
Mathras, do you have a moment?
My dear, I have all of eternity.
I'm gonna need your experience, Mathras. Come with me.
At last! I was starting to get a little bored.
Так, стоп. Так что, если ты пойдешь со мной... Ага, я только одного могу взять.
Mathras, do you have a
О,
moment?
да что ж за печаль
My
такая?
dear, I have all of eternity.
I want to ask you a couple of questions.
Теперь могу задать тебе вопрос или нет? О, вот теперь можем, наконец-то.
How are things with Sybil?
What a charming young girl. Her hunger for knowledge reminds me of myself in the distant past, when I was young and still living in my first body. I imagine that if I still felt any physical desires, I would happily give her a good few hours of one-on-one experimental physical training. And it seems to me that she's rather more interested in getting your attention. At any rate, she is by far the most interesting Red Scribe I've met in the past 300 years, though I fear that may not be much of a compliment, given their legendary incompetence.
Why won't you tell Sybil about your love lives?
I wouldn't have thought you'd be interested in the prurient questions of that young girl, charming as she may be. It seems to me that my sexuality is my own business, as well as which, I suspect my stories would be quite shocking to an innocent girl like that.
Come on, then.
I have been alive on Vertial a very long time, and before I lost all desire of any kind, I think I probably experienced everything possible, both emotionally and sexually. To recount all my adventures to you in detail would require weeks, apart from which, it's out of the question that I should speak of these things out loud.
As bad as that?
You doubt my word? Very well. Let me tell you about my 14th wife, the Princess of the Elephant City.
For real? But that's... gross.
And those are some of my cleaner stories. I told you, I've tried everything. Perhaps now you understand my reticence with your young friend.
Exactly. So what should I tell her?
Whatever you wish. I will confirm whatever story you tell.
Ну что ж, поговорили так
Talk to you
поговорили.
later.
Ну что ж, теперь можем к ней возвращаться, собственно.
Sybil, can I talk to you?
Yes?
I spoke with Mathras. He finally agreed to talk to me about his love life. Well, lives.
And? What did he tell you?
Так, и что выбрать? Ну, давайте, чтобы у нее были насчет него нормальные мнения. Скажем, что он хороший.
Our bony friend likes... he's a complete romantic.
I could feel that behind his proud exterior, he was all heart.
He didn't go into too much detail. He's had many wives, and every time he had to watch them grow old and die. And he could do nothing to help.
That's... it's just terrible.
It is. That's why it's so hard for him to talk about it. You understand why now?
Yes. I feel so stupid. Thank you for your help anyway. I won't bother him about it anymore.
Ну, нормально. Хорошо отмазали его. Так, ну все, пошли со
I
мной.
need your help. Come with me.
If you want.
Окейушки. Так, ладно, теперь давайте разбираться дальше. Так, не сюда. Так. Реально, нам нужно разобраться, кто же предатель. Нам сказали поговорить с часовыми. Ну давайте к ними отправимся, собственно. Давай, девчуля, бегом за мной. Так, часовые. Вы где? Так. Так, стопе. Нам сюда.
The Deadwalkers have sent out several patrols on this road. Stay alert.
И это что, все? Все, что ты можешь мне сообщить? Ладно, давайте с другим поговорим. Может, он будет более разговорчивым. Но если нет... О, здрасте. Ой-ой-ой, валим. Лечимся. Спасибо тебе, девчуля, большое спасибо. Ты прям то, что нужно. Так, теперь давайте поговорим с этим часовым, может быть, он нам что-то скажет.
I have some questions I'd like to ask you.
I'm listening.
Have you noticed any unusual movement? People leaving the camp?
Apart from you, I also saw the human who goes around with you. The one with the strange way of speaking. And I think I saw one of the mercenaries from your company, too. A really big fellow with a beard.
Buffalo?
Maybe. He didn't give me his name. He didn't go very far. It seemed like he was looking for something.
Right. Well, I'll just have to go and ask him, I guess.
I'm listening.
You see any unusual creatures in the Deadwalker ranks?
I thought I saw a creature I never saw before. A kind of flying creature, really thin.
That must be a tormentor, like the one in the cave. That's not good news. It could spot us at any time. Where was it?
Every time I saw it, it was somewhere high up. Pretty far from the camp, fortunately. It looked like it was crossing the mountains. I'm listening.
Enemy troop movement?
Apart from the ones you so brilliantly took out, no. Everything's pretty quiet. Well, there was a creature that came here, an undead as far as I could tell. He spoke and didn't seem aggressive. He said he didn't belong to the Deadwalkers. But I still decided to call up reinforcements. They took him to the camp for interrogation and an examination, I think.
Did you see him leave again?
No. Why? Did he escape?
No, but I wanted to make sure that he didn't leave the camp. I still don't know if he can be trusted.
I'm listening.
Так, ну все.
Thank you for the information. See you later.
Ну вот мы и поговорили. Так, ну а теперь давайте Сивиллу отведем в ту библиотеку, которую она так хотела. Надеюсь, у нас это получится. Фух, ну что ж, заходим, давай, грузись быстрее. Да, только зашли и снова идем дальше. Так, загрузились. А теперь идем в библиотеку. Так, стоп. Так, наверх поднимемся.
We can't take all of them. Let's concentrate on anything to do with necromancy, healing, and of course anything about the World Heart.
Как скажешь. И почему я не удивлен снова, а?
It'll have to do. Pass me the books you have. I can't carry any more. I need to keep my hands free in case we have to fight.
Sybil, can I talk to you?
Yes?
I'd like to ask you a few questions.
What do you want to know?
Have you learned anything about the World Heart?
Yes, I found out a few things that might interest you. Some of the myths about the World Heart are based on real facts. Certain texts confirm that there is indeed a source of energy that fuels the world, but also that is the source of all magic power. Every time a sorcerer casts a spell, they are drawing power from the World Heart. The Ice Lords are siphoning this energy in huge quantities, and that is why they are so immensely powerful. If we can only discover how they're doing it, it may be possible to deprive them of all their power.
That sounds like a really good lead. Keep on digging. Anything new on the World Heart?
I think I just discovered something really interesting.
Tell me.
From what I've read, the World Heart is not in Vertial. Well, not really. It exists in a sort of other world next to us, in a sort of limbo, in fact. And it's impossible to get there without using an extremely complex ritual.
And can you perform it?
No, but the Ice Lords have discovered a way to create passages and to keep them open. And it's by using these passages that the Ice Lords are able to channel the power from the World Heart. But they're draining it. They're using more power than can be replenished.
Ну что ж, поговорили. Так, теперь можем возвращаться обратно в лагерь. Здесь нам, собственно, больше делать-то нечего. Я ведь прав. Да, осталось только предателя найти на данный момент. Так, пленники в Каралдасе. Найти пленников. Ну, поищем, разумеется, поищем. Так. Так, походу нам сюда, да? Ну что ж, раз мы уже пришли, давай... Ух ты ж, ё. Давайте займемся поисками. Так, потушим свет, чтобы нас не смогли быстро обнаружить. Хотя нас так обнаружат. Опа-на, сундучок. Спасибочки. Я очень счастлив. Блин. Ах, ну. Отдыхай. Ого, сколько у вас тут. Фу. Ну, хоть немного постелсили. Уже неплохо. Ну, как-то так. Так, это взяли. Хорошо, возвращаемся. Так, не, нам походу не сюда.
Gods! Vulcan! Is that you? Help us get out of here!
Head to the southeast. You'll find an entry in the support pillar. Take that passage, and then look for an opening in the cliff face. The rest of the company is hidden there.
Got it. There's another camp of prisoners over there in the west. Not any of our guys, but maybe we should try to free them anyhow. Do you want us to give you a hand?
No. Get out of here.
See you back at the camp. Good luck.
Gonna need it.
Так, ну что ж, одних освободили, уже неплохо. Так. Найдите вторую группу пленников. Ну, искать эту группу мы уже также будем в следующем выпуске. А на сегодня все. Всем пока-пока.